Greetings and welcome to a brand new edition of the Iron Phantom's Black Book. So it has been some time since we were last here, and as always, I have two short horror stories to tell you in this episode. So, let us begin our tales. These are all to do with love and betrayal, and what consequences could unfold when going against them. So let us begin. This first story I want to tell you is called The Adultery Cure. It was a warm summer day when Cordelia returned home from work. She then went inside her home. Looking around, she saw two wine glasses. Then, as she heard noises, walking into the bedroom, she found her husband, Jonathan, cheating on her with another woman. Angered by this, John told her that he was sorry and that he will never do it again, and explained why he did what he did, as he felt neglected. They went to couples therapy and resolved their issues. A few months went by and Cordelia forgave him for the ordeal. But then she caught him cheating again when he was away at a business trip, having an affair with another woman. Angered by this, but able to be talked around again by Jonathan, manipulative, and telling her, "I will have to earn your trust back, but if you can find it in your heart to forgive me." Eventually, she did, but she had enough. She went looking into his personal life and discovered that that he has been cheating on multiple women. Angered by this, she wanted to know how she can stop him from doing such acts. She went to the therapist by herself and asked if there is any way he can stop his adultery. "I just want him to be cured of it." The therapist looked at her and said, "There is nothing I can do, but there is someone I know who can do something." Psychiatrist wrote the number for a woman he told her to go and see. She went to visit this person. She was a young, attractive woman. The name is Chris. "I believe you're having relationship troubles with your husband." Delia wondered what she knew about her. Crystal saying, "I know many things, and I can, yes, help you with your husband and his adultery. Tell me, who is he currently having an affair with?" Cordelia tells Crystal he recently had a sexual engagement with a client of his, You see, is a lawyer, and he is. I just cannot trust him. Yet I managed with him to work. Crystal said, say no more. I just require something in return. Not money, but a soul. Cordelia, what will you do with this soul if you... It is none of your concern. It does not husbands. In fact, for this to work, your husband needs to be alive. And if you don't want to give your soul, well, I can't make you give it to me. But also, the effects will be more effective if it is not you. Leave this woman your husband is currently having an affair with to me, and I will promise you now, he will not hurt you ever again. Cordelia asked Crystal, what are you going to do? Crystal said, you just go about your business, and in a few days, I will call you back. The next day, Crystal went to the house of one of the women that Jonathan had been cheating with. She came up to her, posing as a saleswoman. But of course, she wanted to get into her house, looking around, telling her that she is not interested in what she has to sell. Crystal then goes up to the woman at her heart with her bare hands. She then says, I do not want to sell you anything. I just want this from you. A few days pass, and Cordelia gets the phone call from Crystal. Jonathan says that he has cancelled a business meeting, but really, it is because he could not get in touch with the woman he was currently having an affair with. Crystal then tells her to come to her now, showing her the heart of the woman she killed, saying, this is the heart of the woman your husband was committing adulterous acts with. What we need to do is blend the heart. Cordelia, why are you doing this? This is not human. Crystal was never meant to be mortal things. Haven't you worked it out by now? Crystal said. I am a witch. I help couples that are beyond therapy. Now, we need some potions, and then some strawberries to make the juice go down easier. Go. Don't give him the berries. Him to fin. Very well then, said Crystal. Blending it create what Crystal called the adultery cure. She then says, now you must have your husband excited and aroused.
he die. It is all part of the magic. You want him to only feel a yes. Cordelia said, I do. Then you must engage in intimacy with him. Later that day, when Jonathan returned home from work, Cordelia seduced him and managed to get him upstairs. They then had sex, and shortly after, Jonathan fell asleep. She then took the cure. Crystal then came and said, You must pour the whole thing down his throat. It is the only way. Cordelia then gets a hose pipe and a funnel. As her husband is asleep, Crystal ties down restraints on the bed so he does not move. Then, as he opens his mouth, she rams the hose pipe down his throat with the funnel attached to the other side and pours the cure down, telling him to swallow it, you lying, cheating, adulterating prick. Having no choice but to swallow, Jonathan then fell into another deep sleep. She then removes the pipe from his neck, and Crystal then says, My work here is done. Now he will only ever feel sexual affection for you. Anyone else feel nothing for. That is why you had to engage in sexual intercourse with him, so that he can only feel affection for you now. Cordelia then says to Crystal, Thank you, but you said you wanted a soul. Crystal said, I have got a soul. It is the soul of the woman I killed. Like I say, it comes at a price, and you have paid me. Then Cordelia closes the door as Crystal leaves. Then Jonathan wakes up, and then says to Cordelia, What the hell have you done to me? Cordelia says, You have cheated on me for the last time. You will no longer commit adultery because if you do, well, let's just say you can't do it again because you feel nothing for anyone now except for me. Jonathan asking, What have you done? Then Cordelia says, You're my husband, and I want our marriage to work. And I've cured you from all adultery. We can now be together forever.
Did you enjoy that tale? Did you like it? Well, now we go to our second and final tale of this episode. This next story that I am going to tell you is called Two Hearts. Enjoy.
Martin had it all. A beautiful wife that loved him, and a good job with some good friends. Every now and then Martin would play A board game. A role-playing game. Like Dungeons and Dragons. The game was called Monsters and Mazes. He would play this game every night after work with his work friends and come home during the late evening to his wife, who started to feel neglected. His wife, Helen, told him that she wants to spend more time with him. I get so lonely I call my friend. I'm sorry, said Martin. I promise. Tomorrow night I will get home early. I'll have one round of Monsters and Mazes with the guys, and then I will come home to you. The next night came, and Helen sat with a candlelit meal at the ready. Martin not turning up, she blew out the candles and called her friend. Her friend Prudence came over, and they talked, enjoying each other's company with red wine and chats. Helen says it is great to have a gay best friend. Then Prudence says it is great to know that, making her feel important and loved. She then kissed Prudence, and Prudence kissed her. Martin returned home after his game of Monsters and Mazes with his work friends. Walking around the house with some flowers, knowing he should have come home early, he looks around and wonders where she is, only to find that Helen and her friend Prudence were in bed together. Shocked and angered by this, they then talked. Helen saying, "She made me feel important, Martin." Martin then saying, "Well, my friends make me feel important, but I don't go doing things like that with them." Helen then says, "You are never there. You would rather spend time with your friends playing that Dungeons and Dragons game than spend time with me." Martin then says, "It is not Dungeons and Dragons, it is Monsters and Mazes." He was upset and angry. Later that night he slept downstairs on the sofa, while Helen laid in bed feeling guilty. The next morning, Martin said, "I don't want you seeing Prudence again." She then says, "I'm sorry, Martin. I know I will have to earn your love back. But it was an in-the-moment thing. Of course, I'm going to meet the guys and we're going to play the game. I need some time away." Helen then says, "This is why you always play. You can't face the reality with me." Later that day, Martin is over at his friend's house, all playing the game Monsters and Mazes, creating scenarios and quests. Then Martin says, "We have to keep playing." His friends say, "No, we've had enough." Then Martin looks across the room and sees what looks like a demon wearing a stag skull. He then says, "We must keep playing." His friends then say, "Martin, we have fun playing, but you're obsessed with this game." He says, "We must keep playing." His friends telling him, "I know you are dealing with a terrible revelation at the moment with your wife, but you have been more obsessed with this game than anything." Then the demon appears again. Martin looks at the demon. His friends wonder what he is looking at. He then says, "I'm going to make a sandwich." Martin goes into the kitchen and pulls out a knife. Looking in the knife, he sees the demon again. Shortly after, his friends all lay in pools of blood as he has killed them. Then, carrying on playing the game, which summons the demon, he says, "What must I do now, my demon prince, to be accepted into your gates?" The demon prince then shows him a card, the Two of Hearts, saying that he wants two hearts, but it would be the heart of someone he loves and another heart of someone who loves her. He then fulfills this task, going over to Prudence' house. She answers the door and tells him, "I'm sorry about what I did, but you had never been attentive to her." Then, shocked and horrified, she notices he has blood on his hand. Then, before she can let out a scream, Martin stabs her in the chest with the knife. Later, when Helen is asleep, he goes up to her and drives the knife into her chest, killing her as she wakes in bed, horrified at what she sees, that her husband has killing her. She then bleeds out and dies. Martin then cuts open her chest and takes her heart, fulfilling the task of what the demon prince asked of him. He had two hearts. Then he took the blood of his wife and the others that he had killed and wrote on the wall in blood all over the place just one word: the name of the demon prince, Grawl. He then puts the game of Monsters and Mazes down onto the floor and starts to play on his own. Then he sees the demon prince Grawl standing with his long cloak, his skinless wings, the skull of a stag that he wears. He then says, "I have fulfilled the task you have instructed, my lord. Now please, let me be part of your kingdom." The demon Grawl takes the two hearts and says, "You have done well. But when I mean join my world, I meant your soul. You will come to my kingdom eventually, when you are dead. I only require your soul. Now you will put the game away and leave it for someone else to find. And you will confess your crimes. Do you understand, mortal? Martin then said, I understand, but how will I get to this world of yours? Like I said, your soul will be mine in the afterlife. Martin then looks at the phone and makes a disturbing 999 call, saying to the operator on the phone that there are dead people and that he killed them. Later, upon arriving on the crime scene, the police find the body of Martin's wife, Helen. The other bodies get recovered from the other crime scenes of the people that Martin killed. The police find Martin laying in a pool of his own blood with his throat slit. Then, as the police and forensics investigate, one policeman, a policeman who looks bored with his life, sees the board game Monsters and Mazes on a shelf, untouched by blood. He takes the game and looks at it, and opens the box, looking at the instructions and the rules to the board game. Then he takes the game home with him, knowing he would be in trouble for taking something from a crime scene. About a month later, he gathered some friends around a table and said, okay, who is ready for M&M? His friends say, this is just like a cheap rip-off of Dungeons and Dragons. The policeman says, oh no, my friends. This is something so much more than Dungeons and Dragons. Now let's begin our quest. As his friends prepare for the game, he then looks straight ahead, and there he sees the demon Growl standing with his long cloak, his skinless wings, and him wearing the skull of a stag.
Did you like that story? Which one was your favorite one? Was it the adultery cure? Or Two Hearts? Let us know down below in the comments. Well, that is it for this month's show. I hope you enjoyed this edition of the Iron Phantom's Black Book. That is all we have time for. Did you like any of the stories? Let us know down in the comments. If you like this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up, share with your friends, and do not forget to subscribe to the official Random Horror YouTube channel and to hit that notification bell. Yes, and all of the social media links from Random Horror will also be linked down below in the description of this video. Well, that is it for now. I have been your host, the Iron Phantom, and this has been the Iron Phantom's Black Book. So until next time, don't have nightmares.